Hi guys, it's James here, and today I'm at the Pavilion in the Park as part of the Discover Bedford series. I'm with Emma again. Long time no see, Emma.
Long time no see, but it's good to see you again.
It's great to be here. I nearly got, I wasn't going to say get run over, but the stampede of the park runs going on at the moment. It's fantastic. So, as we kind of talked about yesterday at the kiosk, talk us through what was here before and kind of what happened.
It's a similar story in a way, but on a bigger scale, obviously. So the building had been sitting empty for a long, long time and had really become a bit of a sort of storeroom for lawnmowers, park benches. I think the park gardeners used to come in here for their tea break, and it was just looking a bit sad. And I used to walk past and just dream of what it could be. And again, it went out to tender. I applied for it. And I think one of the reasons that I got it was because of what I'd done at the kiosk in Russell Park and how I'd brought the community together. And I know that the council were really keen that the park should be used again and used more. They'd seen what I'd done in Russell Park, and they thought that I was perhaps the person that could bring life and energy back to Bedford Park.
Cool. I mean, it's the 60-acre Victorian Park. It's a real landmark of Bedford. And I'm pretty sure I've got some footage, so I'll run through that as well so people can see that from above. But I guess going back to obviously what you've done at the kiosk, fantastic idea. People have commented already about they didn't know it existed and what was there. Here, I must admit, maybe until a year ago, 18 months ago, I didn't know this existed here. And then you hooked me in with your Eggs Benedict, because your Eggs Benedict game is strong. If anyone's watching this here and they're an Eggs Benedict connoisseur, Eggs Benedict game is strong here. So let's talk about the menu, because we talked about the menu at the kiosk. Do you want to talk us through the menu here and what's on offer and what's what?
Yeah, obviously it's a much bigger operation here. So we do have the window, which is the takeaway bit, which is very similar to the kiosk. But we also have a sit-down restaurant, which we can seat 40 people inside. We can seat 20 people on the veranda, and then there's another 20 on the picnic tables, a bit more. We serve breakfast all day. We used to stop breakfast at 12, so if you came for your Eggs Benedict at 12:15, you wouldn't have got them. We had too many disappointed customers, so we changed the plan. We try and evolve with what the customers want, so we now serve breakfast all day, every day. We have an extensive breakfast menu, from Eggs Benedict to our very own Eggs Pavilion, which is similar but with avocado and bacon. You should try that.
I might try that. I'm not a massive avocado fan, but I'm always up for trying new things, so I'll give it a bash.
We have the full English breakfast, obviously, and we work with the Bedford Blues, so there's something called Beat the Blues. So if you're really, really hungry or really hungover, it's the perfect solution. It's basically double of everything, and we give money to the Bedford Blues Community Fund for every breakfast that we sell of those. We serve lunches from 12. There's always a fresh homemade soup with cheesy bread on the menu, which is great if people don't want a full-on feast, but there's also homemade burgers, there's salads, there's marinated chicken, all sorts of things with various specials as well. Afternoon teas are really popular, so we've started doing those recently. We just had a brilliant review on a blog. Can I give her a plug?
Yeah, please do, yeah.
Glutarama. Follow Glutarama on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. She's written a lovely blog about our gluten, dairy-free afternoon tea. So we do try and cater for all dietary requirements, whether that's vegetarian, vegan, celiac. We hold supper clubs as well, so that's the other thing we do. We're open in the evenings, normally Wednesdays and Fridays, but we do a lot of private functions. So quite often we'll have something on in the evening on a Saturday. We'll do jazz nights. We've got wine and food night coming up with a chef coming out of London and a master of wine who's actually based locally but works all over the world. So there's lots of evening events that go on. Also allowing chefs that perhaps don't have their own restaurant to pop up here.
Okay.
So next Wednesday we've got a local chap who is a wannabe chef but hasn't quite taken the plunge yet. He's a brilliant cook. His wife's a food photographer, so it's a great combination. He's got a supper club. It's sold out, unfortunately, next week. But that's giving him an opportunity that he might not otherwise have. It's giving our customers something a bit different. I'm really looking forward to that one. We've got jazz night coming up as well. So lots going on.
Brilliant. I mean, that's one thing I've kind of noticed about obviously going to the kiosk and then coming here as well is the kind of the altruistic approach that you've got and that you give to, you know, you kind of give everyone opportunities. And like yesterday when just before you got there, I sat there and I was having a cuppa, and do you know, I noticed that everyone was really friendly. The lady that served me was really friendly, but the guys that were sitting down with their dogs, chilling out, we were talking about the bank holiday weekend. It was just a really nice atmosphere, and I kind of get that here as well. There's a real positive vibe around here, which I think obviously, you know, I think from my impression starts from you and it's kind of spread out to kind of everyone that's involved. So obviously we talked about events yesterday and the story time, etc., etc. So obviously there's a park run going on here at the moment. We're going to hopefully speak to some of the runners. Talk to us about, I mean, obviously you've gone through a couple of events there. Is there anything kind of regular that kind of happens, like the story time and, you know, on the pavilion scale?
Well, here's one I prepared earlier. We do Shakespeare's at the park every year. So this will be our 4th year. We have a professional touring company that comes in, Odd Socks. They're absolutely hilarious. So even if you don't like Shakespeare, you'll love Odd Socks. This year we've got Romeo and Juliet, steampunk style, and The Tempest. So they attract an audience of about 400 people. It's all done in the open air. We've been blessed, touch wood, so far with amazing weather for those. We really encourage people to come with their kids. It's a real family occasion. People can have dinner here. We do a main course before the show and a dessert in the interval, or they can bring picnics. It's sponsored by Portal Bay Popcorn, so they always give free popcorn for everybody, which is always a big hit. So that's a great event on quite a big scale. We've done some kids shows as well. We did Wind in the Willows last year, and we're doing Peter Pan, and we're also doing The Importance of Being Earnest. So we've expanded. We've now got a little arm called the Pavilion Playhouse, and that's focusing on the theatre side of things, which is great. But there's other things. There's a book club that meets once a month. There's a knitting, crochet, sewing group that meets once a week. There's My iPad and Me, where people can come and learn a bit more about how to use their iPad. And there's a lovely lad, Rob, who looks after everybody. He's so patient with them. So that's a really nice thing as well. And then today we've got the Mental Health Mates walk starting from here at 11. So there's lots and lots going on. And like you say, that's what I'm all about. I'm about community, bringing people together, giving them opportunities. I'm never going to be a millionaire, but I might kind of, you know, have a slight halo before I go. You never know.
But that's brilliant, though. I mean, I think, you know, it's not, you know, nothing's all about the money, and that's how I feel as well. When speaking about that, one thing I picked up on when I was setting up here is these bits behind here. So. Talk to me a bit about this. This is local artists. Is it showcased? Talk us through it.
We have a lovely space, obviously, to display art. So every 6 weeks, we have a different local artist who has an exhibition here. And that can be anything from photography to mixed media to lino cuts. I must add up how many we've had. We've had a lot of artists through here. Tabitha Mary was one. You may have seen her graphic travel posters, which her first ever exhibition was here. Oh, wow. So I kind of, my claim to fame is that I helped her on her journey, and she's doing amazingly now. And we even have kids exhibitions as well. We've had some amazing giant fish made out of bamboo and tissue paper. That was Creative Days, who Philippa McDonald's does brilliant workshops for kids, and that was just stunning, hanging from the ceilings.
Just talking about Tabitha Mary as well, is I actually spoke to her a little while back as well, and because I was searching for pictures of the embankment for inspiration for kind of pictures of Bedford, and came across some of her prints, and we ended up doing a kind of a postcardy leaflet actually, and I got her permission, spoke to her, and we put, like, I think probably 10,000 Tabitha Mary things through people's letterboxes in Castle Quarter and everything. So good bit of exposure. Really love her work, and it's great to see local artists being promoted. And like I say, that altruistic approach again is kind of shining through. So obviously, trademark question. I have asked you this before. You may have something else to add, something else prepped. The trademark question, as you may know, guys, is what's your favourite thing about Bedford? So what's another favourite thing of yours about Bedford?
Well, I have to say Bedford Park. I mean, it's beautiful. It's 130 years old this year. Obviously, at the heart of the park is the Pavilion. There's 2 play parks, 1 at each end. There's a bowling green, which is really well used. There are 9 tennis courts. There's a basketball court. There's a lake. There's walks all around. It's perfect for dogs. It's perfect for fitness. It's brilliantly kept by the Borough Council. You know, the flower beds are beautiful. There's also some local groups that help maintain certain areas as well. So the St Augustine's Residents Association do some gardening. They come in here and have flapjacks, and we look after them. But it is such a beautiful park, and a lot of people you talk to in Bedford still say, oh, I've never been to Bedford Park. And you're like, how can you never have been to Bedford Park? I mean, I don't mind if you haven't been to the Pavilion, but if you haven't been to Bedford Park, there's something wrong there. So we're doing our bit to encourage the people of Bedford to discover their park.
Excellent. Okay, and just before we go then, obviously we've given the kiosk the plug on the social media. So do you want to give the social media channels a plug and tell people how to find you?
Find us online or find us offline?
Both.
Okay, so offline, just park on Park Avenue or Foster Hill Road, the Robinson Pool car parks, and head to the middle of the park. Everything's on our website. There's a map and directions, and that is www.pavilion.attheparkbedford.co.uk. And Pavilion is just with 1 L, because that's a mistake people sometimes make. The Instagram is the same for the kiosk and the Pavilion, so that's at the Park Bedford. The Twitter is at Bedford Pavilion, and the Facebook is facebook.com/Pavilion at the Park.
Excellent. Well, that's been really nice. Cup of tea again. Spot on. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy watching, guys. And obviously, if you do want to get featured, feel free to get in touch. Been an absolute pleasure again, Emma. Lovely to meet you. Again. So hopefully now I'm going to meet some guys at the park. So I'm outside here with Olivia of the Pavilion. Hi, Olivia.
Hello.
Hi. So Olivia works here. How long have you worked at the Pavilion?
Just over 2 years now.
Excellent. So quite a long time. And you live locally?
Yeah, I live in a village just down the road.
Excellent. And in terms of, obviously, so have you lived in Bedford your whole life?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And I guess one of my trademark questions I asked, and I've asked Emma inside, and I ask everyone, it's coming at the end, so you've got a chance to think about it, is what's your favourite thing about Bedford? So think about that in your mind while I'm asking you a couple of questions. So what's the best thing about the Pavilion, and why should people come and see it?
For me, I think there's like a real sense of community when you come here. So I think through the events that we run, and we try and appeal people from all around Bedford and from sort of outside of Bedford. You get like a lot of people who do come and visit, and it feels really friendly that way. Like I think the relationship that staff try to have with customers is more personal rather than like closed off. So I think that's quite different. You don't really get that often. So.
No, that's cool. Sorry, I'll grab it over. Yeah, I mean, I kind of get that, and I was kind of saying to Emma inside is that like you feel it with the kiosk, and you feel it here. It's quite the community feels quite infectious. So you've got things like the park run going on today. You can probably see in the background, lots of dogs, lots of people, lots of children. Really cool going on. So, I mean, this is something I didn't ask Emma, but I'm going to ask you: is what's the hidden gem on the menu?
Oh, I would say. Oh, I have 2 favourites. Either the French toast or the smashed avocado with poached eggs. It depends how you're feeling, like sweet or like savoury.
No, nice. Yeah, I mean, I was just saying inside, I'm a bit of an Eggs Benedict connoisseur, so I discovered the Pavilion about 18 months ago when we were searching for Eggs Benedict locally, as you do. So, final question. What's your favourite thing about Bedford?
I think diversity. Because there's obviously, like, you go out and there's, say, like, even food-wise and people-wise, there's so many different places to eat, and, like, you can meet people from all around the world, really. Like, I think even at school, there's, like, most people are sort of from all around the place. So that builds like, again, that sort of community that we have here. I think that's more due to Bedford rather than the cafe.
Yeah, no, excellent, great answer. To be honest, it's something that a lot of people do say is that the diversity and the fact that everyone kind of integrates to kind of give that community feel. So that's been brilliant. It's been great to meet you, Olivia. Thank you ever so much. And yeah, that's a wrap.